Here goes. Po2's received an update and got rockets. Aim, fire. Yes! Yes! The best feature of update drones is the fact that this thing got rockets. Welcome yourselves to Update Drone Age, I think they're calling it. I'm not entirely sure what could possibly be the most pointless update to War Thunder's history in a fucking long time. But hey, we have the SU-25 and a Mirage 2000, a Harrier to play with, and a new German MiG-23 prototype thing. So yeah, there's a lot of things to play with, and Ground Forces got a hell of a lot of changes, and Air Forces got a hell of a lot of changes. Like in the introduction, the Po2 now has rockets. Anyway, this is the SU-25. If you want to pre-order one of these things and also get 3% discount on anything in War Thunder, top link in the description, you'll also receive my decal as well. This thing has its titanium alloy bath and all of its other extreme sort of profiles, self-sealing fuel tanks, one mounted nose gun with a limited range of ammunition. It's basically good for burst fire, that's about it, and then two massive stonking engines out the back. Gets a heap of flares, and my goodness me, this machine is fantastic fun. Reminds me of the early days of when the A10 was first introduced. I've had probably 5 or 6 games in this, and every single time you're just dunking on people. It's probably just due to its battle rating. It is 9.3. Yeah. This thing also gets the new engine fire system, which is buggy, but sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, and obviously gets access to the S8s, the S24s, R60s. By the way, these particular ones are all aspect, and for being, a rank 6 battle rating, 9.3, this thing absolutely stomps in some regards, even though it's a heavy bastard. You can get your regular accoutrement of different types of things. And yeah, you do actually get a large range of countermeasures there, 256 of them to be exact, with, a range of flares. Now, having a look at the modifications, you get bombs, you get your flammable incendiary bombs, you get your rockets, and I currently mount 2 R60s on the outside. I drop the extra 2 gun pods, as you can see by the previous modification here, and I then instead go with 2 gun pods and 2 air-to-airs, and then obviously the forward-firing armament. That's just how I roll. I find the extra pods to be really heavy, and there it is in the tech tree, sitting directly below the IL-28SH. Now, there are 3 camouflages for this machine. Standard, as you're going to see throughout this video, Sky Hussars, which is an air racing or what looks to be some sort of competition-based aircraft, which looks fantastic. You then have your desert camouflage if you want to reenact Afghanistan. And then there is, last but not least, another Tiger camouflage, which has a Tigor on the side of it because they can't help but add things with Tigers. I don't understand it, but it looks the best, so I'm going to run with this one. Also, it gets shark's teeth. Now, I do run with the absolute minimum amount of fuel. I find that you're not really alive long enough to really care. If you get up-tiered, you get up-tiered, but my team is full of basically SU-25s, and we've got an A7D and 1 poor SU-7. Regardless, this thing, I'm glad it doesn't get an airborne. If it got an airborne, people would be rushing enemy aircraft. One thing I am disappointed about, though, is this thing's battle rating 9.3. Its flight performance deserves 9.3, but does the R60Ms all aspects? They don't really deserve to be at 9.3, considering it's the same battle rating the F9F Panthers and Swift F1s are sort of fight at. Now, the astute among you may have noticed that the chat window has opened up, and chat has now been reopened. Apparently they enabled chat during the update, so behave yourself and try not to abuse other people too much, okay? I'm watching. Anyhow, this thing's battle rating really doesn't justify the missiles that it can carry. It's only got 2 of them, but 2 of them are enough to really deal with some opponents, especially if you're dealing with F5s. Now, I find that you deal with the premium F5s quite a bit. You also deal with SU-7s, you deal with Harriers. There are occasional MiG-21s in the mix, but again, that really depends on who you're fighting. You do fight a lot of Jaguars as well, So this thing's BR sort of tends to spread itself quite thinly depending on how Matchmaker is feeling. And right now, considering everybody's playing 9.3, the meta seems to be, you know, at least shifting towards people who are playing more aggressively, like for example in this gameplay which we're going to show you today. Other than that, this machine is fantastic. It's fat, but it's, you know, reaching its max speed. You know, I'm Mach 0.83 right now, and I'm only at about 1,000 meters. I'm not even climbing it, it's just doing its thing. Is it survivable? In the few games I have had, yes it is. It's taken hits from Hunters, I've taken hits from Harriers, I've been hit on by Panthers and Swift F1s, even A10As have given me a go. Sometimes it just likes to wing it. Anyhow, first target is up. We have a MiG-21 and an A5. These are incredibly unique sort of time period, I guess, fighters. MiG-21 is obviously down, and the A5 is just going for a bit of a bombing run. I'm going to leave him alone, let the rest of the teammates go after him. Again, just testing whether or not I'll rip speed if I do go past 950 kilometers. That's when a Hunter is now spotted, and a Jaguar is off in the distance. Jaguars are probably your worst nightmare. They can out-accelerate you, they can out-turn you, basically outperform you in every way, and they've got similar equipment and better, you know, they've got radar, etc, etc. Now that's probably going to hit. We're going to just briefly turn around. We fired one missile off, we killed the Hunter FGA-9, and now we're going to basically ruin this Milan's day if we can actually get a hit. Sadly we didn't, but there's another Mirage in the way, and look at this. Yeah, that's a little bullshit. That is a little bullshit if I do say so. Double strike right there. That poor Mirage didn't see what had come for him. Particularly, I wasn't expecting the missile to even lock there. But hey, that is what it is. Lightning goes down. The A5 is still chasing things. A couple of friendlies get knocked out. And you just walk. It just speaks for itself. A nice healthy bird on the machine guns and the cannons actually, and you know, now I'm just looking for easy targets. A Jaguar goes into the deck right there, gives the kill to another person. A5 is trying to get a bead on me, but unfortunately that Chinese aircraft won't necessarily get there that soon. Now, unfortunately, the other friendly SU-25 here is going to take a missile. I can't do anything about that. Should probably be checking my 6 about now, but, you know, there's a Jaguar in front of me and they're scary. There's a Jaguar behind me and that's even more scary. But we shall fully commit to this Jaguar here. Hopefully he knows we're here. If not, it's going to get absolutely done over by the other SU-25. Nope, no luck there, no beans. Give the old Scandinavian flick and pull round the corner and try to avoid the Jaguar as he comes in on a clutch. Oh, rip him, he's absolutely gone. A5 is also coming in for the bit of a play here, and now we're out of ammo. Sadly, we've run out of complete ammunition, which means there's now 3 enemy aircraft up against 3 SU-25s. Oh, a friendly SU-25 comes in for the save there. Thank you very much, friendly, because that would have been the end of me, and maybe we would have ended up by, you know, losing rather quickly. But thankfully, that friendly SU-25K sacrificed himself, and now we can go back and do a bit of the old landing. Notable thing, this thing does come with a drag chute. However, I didn't really use it on this landing, I wasn't going fast enough. But this guy beside me who's landed without a landing gear is going to pop him right about now. I found that quite interesting. There he goes. And let's get back in the air to see if we can kill the last guys. Right, I'm noticing jet engine noises behind me, and that's when I notice there is an aircraft directly behind me above to my rear. So, we're going to do the best thing we can possibly do. Just double check that he is actually an enemy. Deploy our flares, and the missile eats the flares, thankfully, because the A5's missiles, while very good, they aren't exactly the greatest thing. Turn directly underneath him and let him pull away. Basically try and get him to turn fight. Unfortunately, the other SU-25 is now also engaged by another A5, and now it's a battle of the ground attackers, although there might be another aircraft up. I'm unsure where the other player is. This is where I make a critical mistake here when I'm going for the frontal aspect. Launches on the other A5 rather than the one going in front of me. Could take a little bit of damage there, however. That's okay, because the friendly SU-25 is now on his 6, so at least we'll try and be a little more courteous. You know, I'm trying to be wary of my positioning here, make sure that no one else is coming up behind me. A5 is now turning back around. This is prime opportunity to get guns on. Maybe, we'll see. Again, this is where the slow, heavy, fat bitch comes into play. This is why I run 2 gun pods and 2 R60s rather than running more gun pods for more ammunition. As you can see in the distance, the friendly is trying to go after the A5, but unfortunately he didn't get a bead on that particular target either. Now I'm going for the frontal aspect on this A5. Fox 2. He's gone. He stands no chance. Nearly avoid the friendly there. I wasn't exactly aiming for him either. And pulling it on the A5 here. And the friendly SU-25 accidentally hits him and clips the enemy aircraft while taking him out. That's GG and 5 air kills in my very first match in the SU-25. So, what have we learnt? It's a very versatile aircraft with a lot of armament presets. It can be used as an air fighter, although I don't really think in long term it will be that effective. It will probably dwane out like the A-10's existence. But beware of your surroundings and use your flares sparingly. Other than that, it's got bullshit missiles. Really, this thing shouldn't exist on this machine, at least for its 9.3 battle rating. So while it is broken, I guess chat and everybody, YouTube as well, make sure you milk it while you can. So if you want to get a discount and buy this machine and have a bunch of fun in a new meta vehicle, then I highly suggest you use the 3% discount link in the description down below. Otherwise, this has been the SU-25, the in-tree version. I've had so much fun with this one. We're going to probably be playing around with this on a live stream soon, considering that this weekend there is now Twitch drops available. So if you want to stick around, there's a link in the description to my Twitch channel where we'll be live streaming some games. I'll do some giveaways. We'll do all sorts of things. Gonna have a blast. Alright, my name is Ash, and I'll catch you next one. Bye-bye.